Welcome to the first episode of the Becoming Holy podcast, formerly known as With Love.
We are your host.
The Campbells. So this is our second time recording this. We recorded it last week. It's like 35 minutes. Um, but we did it the wrong way because we don't know what we're doing. So we had to do it over. And it took us
Yeah.
a week to get there.
Yeah.
So here we are.
And we were gonna send it off for editing, but
Hold the mic closer.
but we just feel like God's calling us to be more authentic.
Yeah. And just, shoot it straight. Whatever the Holy Spirit gives us to say, we'll say it. No edits. You guys just kind of get us fully transparent. So,
Okay.
so I think you got a question. Or you have an answer for us?
About what?
Why we changed the name to Becoming Holy?
Okay. My husband created a podcast. Oh, my husband's created an app.
Why don't you stop like that? Just keep going.
My husband created an app called Be Holy. And I wanted our podcast to reflect the app in a way, because I feel like this is going to be our ministry.
Yeah,
We know this is going to be our ministry.
yeah,
So I wanted it to be tied to it. And our goal is to have all of the podcasts on the app. Um, so anybody who downloads the app can watch our podcast,
yep.
um, and tell us about the app.
The Be Holy app, which is only available on iOS platforms in the Apple Store. Um, it's essentially an app that will block your social media, block any distracting apps, so that you can spend more time with God. You can listen to our podcast, you can listen to worship music. We've got some Bible studies on there, or you could just spend time in prayer, 15 minutes. It'll block the apps of your choosing, and you just seek God's face and spend more time with Him.
Yeah, it definitely helps me because I have a social media problem.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the country does.
Yeah, and sometimes when I fall into that, like I set the notifications for in the morning and at night, and then I realize, oh my gosh, I haven't read my Bible today, so it kind of helps keep me on track.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's the whole purpose of it. Even if it's not for social media, I think people just get distracted. They get caught up
Yeah,
in life. Sometimes it's good to just reset and you know go back to the source for a little bit.
yeah, it's good, it's good. But now that we've got that cleared up, do you want to talk about?
This podcast is brought to you by the Be Holy app. Go download it.
No, but it is only $1 a month.
It is only $1, yes.
But aside from that, we did not create this podcast just to promote the Be Holy app.
Right.
But do you want to talk about like our encounter that we had? Was that last week or the week before?
Um.
No, I think that was last week,
Yeah,
right?
it was last week. Yeah.
Last Wednesday.
Yeah, I don't know what day it was, but it was last week.
Last week.
Yeah, and so the first time we recorded it, that's what we spoke about,
Yeah.
and we kind of talked about like our waiting period. We had a few different takes on the waiting season.
Yeah.
So I feel like us as Christians, we struggle with the waiting period.
Especially us. I feel like I struggle in waiting and
Yeah,
being patient.
yeah,
That's a big struggle for
patience.
me.
Especially when you know you've got something coming, right?
Yeah.
When you've had a prophetic word, or when the Lord has something for your life, you may not see it
Mm,
in the natural, but you know it's coming in the
yeah.
spiritual. That's a hard. It's like you're kind of in limbo.
Yeah.
So last week we were where were we going? We are going to the grocery store.
Yeah. We're going to the grocery
Yeah,
store.
nothing crazy. We were just driving down the street, a pretty busy street, I should add, and we flew past this van pulled over on the side of the road, and I saw the van, and we're driving by. My wife was like, "You didn't see that old lady sitting on the side of the road?"
No, she was in the ditch.
Yeah, sitting in a ditch on the side of the road. And I was like, "No, like how old?" And she was like, "Pretty old."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "You think like should we stop?" And typically, we'll see somebody off like, no, just somebody will help them or something. But she said we need to stop. So I found a place to turn around. I turned around and we pulled over. And this old lady, I don't want to say her age because I'm not really sure, but she's got to be in her 70s.
Oh, easily.
Um, she was sitting on the side of the road by herself, and
Yeah.
she had a van.
Yeah, so you pull over and like
Yeah,
I'm in the car with the boys because
yeah.
it's
So
hot.
it's hot outside. It's like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock
Yeah.
in the Georgia heat, and I'm like, all right, y'all stay here. I'm gonna go see if she needs some help. But when I get closer, you can see that the van is missing its front tire. And so as I'm walking up to the lady, I'm saying, I might be 50 yards, 100 yards, like, are you okay? You're missing a tire. And she did not understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
As I get closer, I'm like, are you good? You're missing a front tire. And
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, I'm missing a front tire. Like it came off while we're driving. And but what caught me was like she was just so calm. Like she had made
Yeah.
herself so comfortable in this
Yeah.
ditch. Like, she was sitting perched up. I mean, no care in the world. She was just comfortable. And she said, like, why'd you guys stop?
Yeah.
And I was like, honestly, I didn't see you. But my wife saw you. She said we had to stop. And she said thousands of cars have driven past me this morning. I've been here all morning. And you guys are the first person to stop. So she started to minister to me, and she told me her testimony.
Yeah.
And it was really powerful. I think it really made us pause and
Yeah.
really reflect on how we're living.
Yeah. Because her ability, like she poured into us.
Yeah,
Um, like what else? I mean, as soon as you walked up, she was like, "Yeah, I knew God would send."
yeah. She said I was calm. She was so calm and collected, and she said because God told me that He would send His people to me. He would send His chosen people to me. And he said, and she said, so you guys stopped. So that means you are a part of His chosen.
Yeah.
Um, and she said, I just want to encourage you guys to continue to do what you're doing. She didn't know me from a can of paint. She didn't know you.
Yeah.
But she said she wants to encourage us, and that's what the Lord had given her to tell us to continue to do what we're doing, continue on our journey. So then she poured into us, and she told us that she was a pastor and that she had a church, and she was just really. It was an amazing encounter to just find her on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Literally, I couldn't help her with her van. By the way,
Yeah.
it was missing a tire.
And you came back to the car and you're like, you grabbed your phone. You're like, it's a God thing. I'll have to tell you when I get back.
Yeah,
Then you went back out there to talk to her and you came back again. And I said, does she need anything? Like it's hot outside.
yeah. She need a ride. She
You're
needs some
right.
water or something.
And you're like, no, she just had a word for us. She just poured into me
Yeah,
and I just couldn't believe it because it just humbled me so much because she poured into us in as she was sitting in the ditch,
right.
regardless of her
Yeah,
circumstances.
and I mean, her day was ruined. She didn't have any transportation.
Yeah,
Whatever she had planned, it was brought to a halt. She didn't have a front tire. It was no putting that tire back on. Um, but yet she was still able to pour out, you know, while she was not actively being poured into. She
yeah,
was depleted in the natural, right? She had nothing. She didn't have a form of communication. She didn't have a
yeah.
phone.
Her phone broke
Yeah.
the day before.
She had no way to call anyone. She was sitting here that she watched thousands of cars pass by. So in the natural, she was depleted. She had nothing.
Right.
And she was still able to take that and pour into our cups. I thought that was really powerful. Um, and we got a little bit from that, right? We took two different things, but it both had to do with like how we are waiting and how we operate in our waiting season.
Yeah, because
Um,
there another reason we had felt like God was already telling us, that we needed to be more transparent
right.
and like because of circumstances in our own life, like whether we're tired or we've had a long day or
Yeah.
our kids don't feel good or like we tend to allow our own circumstances to get in the way of us being able to minister.
Right.
Um, and even on that day, like we had places where we had to go, you know,
Yeah.
we had both kids in the car. I sat there for 45 minutes
Yeah.
while you were just talking to her in the ditch. And I mean, that was difficult with
Yeah.
the
That.
kids in the car. Like
Yeah.
they're little, so they don't want to sit in the car for
Right.
that long. Like why are we stopped? We're not moving. We don't have any toys in the car, and
Where's that?
where's
Can I go
dad?
with him?
Is he okay? Like but it just really humbled me because in her ditch, she still poured out. And it reminds me, where's that? Just as we were talking about it. It's interesting.
What's up?
The widow, is that second king? Nothing. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, it's Second Kings. Just as we were talking about it, it reminded me of it. 4, 2 Kings 4, and the widow, the story of the widow.
Yeah.
One day, the widow of a member of the group of prophets came to Elisha and cried out, "My husband who served you is dead, and you know how he feared the Lord. But now a creditor has come, threatening to take my 2 sons as slaves." And then, "What can I do to help you?" Elisha said. "Tell me what do you have in the house?" "Nothing at all except a flask of olive oil," she replied. And Elisha said, "Borrow as many empty jars as you can from your friends and neighbors. Then go into your house with your sons and shut the door behind you. Pour olive oil from your flask into the jars, setting each one aside when it is filled." So she did as she was told, and her sons kept bringing jars to her, and she filled one after another. Soon every container was full to the brim. "Bring me another jar," she said to one of her sons. "There aren't any more," he told her, and then the olive oil stopped flowing. When she told the man of God what had happened, he said to her, "Now sell the olive oil and pay your debts, and you and your sons can live on what is left over."
She just
But
kept pouring.
she just kept pouring,
Yeah.
even when it didn't look like that she had any more. Like
Right.
she had one flask of olive oil. Like she, there's no way she thought that it was gonna fill all those jars.
Right.
But even when it didn't look like she had enough,
Right.
even when she was already like, all right,
Like I have
somebody's coming.
nothing.
I have
Yeah.
nothing. But God
And
was like, no, you have this.
right. Yeah, and I think in the natural, like our eyes will tell a different story. Right. If
Yeah,
you look around, oh, it's like, well, I don't have this and I don't have this. Like I don't have a van and my tire's in the ditch and I don't have a phone. Like you can pile up the list. But in the spirit, you can still continue pouring out. You can still continue pouring out. You can still
yeah,
continue pouring out. So yeah, I think that really, really touched us about like, how do we navigate that waiting season when it feels like, or when we are tired naturally, when we're depleted, when our kids are not feeling well.
but our car hasn't worked for the entire month
Right,
of
when
June.
the entire month of June, our car's been in the shop pretty much.
It just got
Mm,
fixed, but now the air doesn't work.
right, you just got it back now. The air, so like now it's gonna be longer. Like, how do you navigate that?
Yeah,
And like, I think this encounter with um, Miss Margaret, what's her name? Really, it really told it, and it really showed us the blueprint about how we are to navigate that.
yeah,
And it's like, regardless of what's happening in the natural, we're called spiritually to continue to pour out onto others, onto God's people.
yeah.
I think it was really, really powerful.
She really was an example of true discipleship.
Yeah,
Um, I think sometimes, even myself or people have asked me, like, "Oh, you're a minister, but like, you've never like given a word, like you've never, you know, ministered behind a pulpit." Um, but I realized, and it really humbled me because I did start to question, like, maybe I'm not really a minister. Like sometimes I allow the voices around me to get in my head, Um, and that's definitely another place that I struggle a lot is just allowing other people to make me question what God's already spoken over my life.
Right.
Um, but seeing how much she ministered to me in that ditch made me realize, you know, that's not needed.
Right.
Now, when that opportunity comes, absolutely, and for anybody who is a minister, that's a great accomplishment. But it completely humbled me and made me realize that she ministered so much to me from that ditch. Like, where am I missing that? Like, where can I minister to people, you know,
Right.
where I may feel like is not enough? Like, God is saying that's more than enough.
Right. That's all you need. Like,
Right.
you don't need the pulpit. Now, if you're on the pulpit, that's great.
Right.
But
Yeah, I'm not saying by no means like that's a great accomplishment as a minister to give a sermon or a word that God has given you from that pulpit. It takes a lot of boldness, and yeah, that's a great accomplishment.
the but you could do it at the grocery store. You could
Right.
do it in a ditch. You could do it at the park. Right. Anywhere. Like, Jesus wasn't ministering in the pulpit. And like the story you told him the first time we recorded this, when Paul was in prison, like,
Oh, that's a
he
good
was
one.
not ministering in the pulpit. He was ministering like in shackles, in a jail, in chains. Um, that one's
You
in,
you keep talking while I look for
yeah, I think that
it.
one's in Acts. So yeah, it's like you don't have to be, and I think a lot of people struggle with that as well. Like, yes, and actually Margaret talked about that. She said, I bet a lot of people that had driven by today have been Christians, right? They call themselves followers of Christ, but yet they didn't stop. I guess they had too much going on, to be bothered with the lady in the ditch.
Yeah.
Um, but I think, any time you get the opportunity to disciple, you have to take it.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sure what chapter it's in.
Yeah.
You need to look it up. I can look it up.
Yes, please. Oh, hold on. I have it marked. Yeah, it's Acts 16. Paul and Silas in prison. One day, as we were going down to the place of prayer, we met a slave girl who had a spirit that enabled her to tell the future. She earned a lot of money for her masters by telling fortunes, and she followed Paul and the rest of us, shouting, "These men are servants of the Most High God, and they have come to tell you how to be saved." This went on day after day until Paul got so exasperated that he turned and said to the demon within her, "I command you in the name of Jesus Christ to come out of her." And instantly it left her. Her master's hopes of wealth were now shattered, so they grabbed Paul and Silas and dragged them before the authorities at the marketplace. "The whole city is in uproar because of the Jews," they shouted to the city officials. "They are teaching customs that are illegal for us Romans to practice." A mob quickly formed against Paul and Silas, and the city officials ordered them stripped and beaten with wooden rods. They were severely beaten, and they were thrown into prison. The jailer was ordered to make sure they didn't escape. So the jailer put them into the inner dungeon and clamped their feet in the stocks. But around midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to God, and the other prisoners were listening. And that's a part that I just want to pause. Sorry, that's a part that I like skimmed over. I guess when I first read the story, um, and you kind of had a perspective on that, like, and the other prisoners were listening
Right.
because even in your ditch or in things not going the right way, you never know who's listening to how you're responding
Right.
or how you're still showing up or what your faith looks like. And so I think it's important too, because when we show up in faith, even when things are going wrong, we encourage others.
Right. Yeah, I feel like in this story with Margaret that we're talking about, she was in prison and we were just listening,
Right.
right? And how she carried herself in that ditch, how she was able to still pray and sing hymns, right? That's what it said Paul and Silas were doing. They were praying and singing hymns. She was still able to do that. We were just, bystanders listening to the faith that she had, listening to her testimony, and it inspired us just by seeing the way that she did that. So I think we are all called to do that for others,
Yeah.
regardless of what our ditch may look like.
I was just, and I laugh about it not because it's it's not funny that her tire came off, but I was laughing because I was just baffled, because we were like, are you thirsty? Do you want to get in the car? Like, is there any, you've been out here since this morning. Are you hungry?
Right.
Do you want to come sit in the air conditioning? And she was just so calm, like, no, I'm on assignment.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay,
Like, it's hot out here, maybe.
um, like she just really made me look up to her, because and then I was thinking too, if somebody shows up, you know, sh it wasn't like, oh yes, yes, like you can do this for me. It was,
Right.
I'm here to serve you.
Right. Yeah.
Like in her ditch, she was still serving,
Exactly.
just like the widow. She was still pouring,
Right.
and I mean, it put some conviction in my heart. I was like, wow, okay, so this is where I need to work on. This is what I need to work on. Okay, God.
Right. Yeah, because you would expect most people, they've had, let's say, the worst day they've had in a few years or whatever. Like, when someone comes, they're like, "Oh, thank you. How can you help me?
Yeah,
Right? Can you fix my tire? Can you get it towed? Can you give me some money? Can you provide me with this? Provide me with this?" She never once, like, I'm asking her all these things, like, hey, she never once cared about any of that.
yeah.
She wanted to pour into us. She never cared about. And I'm like, "Do you want to come sit in the car? Are you thirsty? Need food?"
Her response was, God's gonna send the people. And
Right.
as we were there, a truck came
Right.
to pull her out.
To tow it out. Yeah.
And she was like, yes, yeah, I told you, God
See.
would send.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, where have we been lacking in moments where it doesn't seem like there's a way out?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and I think that's where. So we talked about, like, being able to pour out in those times, but then in the first time we recorded this, we talked about how our posture is
In the
in
waiting.
the waiting. So
And you have a really great analogy.
I can't remember
Finn, we were walking
Oh,
around the
yes, yes,
store.
yes, yes,
That was
yes.
like, it really, I was
Yes.
like, okay, God.
Yeah. So yeah, when we recorded this the first time, I told the story because this had just happened. This was last week sometime. So we have a 5-year-old, and we were in the store, um, and he did something. I think he was messing with his little brother, right? And he was crashing the car into him or whatever. So I took his little Hot Wheel car and I said, "All right, I'm not gonna, like, you're not gonna get it until we leave." And he was upset, right? And he's 5, so the time feels like forever for him. So in 5 minutes, he's like, "Hey, Dad, can I have the car back?" I'm like, "Nope, not yet." And then in another 3 minutes, he's like, "Hey, Dad, can I have the car back?" I'm like, "Nope, not yet." And then he asked me again, and I say, "If you ask for this car again, like, I'm never gonna give it back to you." And when I say this, like, the Lord, like, punches me in the stomach. Like, the Holy Spirit just pauses me in my tracks, and it's like, you're getting onto your 5-year-old because he's not waiting patiently. How do you think I feel, like, about you guys? Because I've told you you're gonna get the car back, but every 5 minutes you're asking me for it. So it's like, I'm looking at myself and I'm like, man, okay, how are we waiting?
Yeah.
Because I'm getting mad at him for not waiting patiently. When we do the same thing to God, we don't wait patiently. We're like, "Hey, Lord, you said we're gonna get this new house. Like, where is it? Like,
Yeah.
you said we're gonna get a new car. You said we're gonna have this baby. You said I'm gonna have this marriage. Whatever it is that we're
Waiting for.
waiting for." And then when it doesn't come on our time, we're throwing a fit.
Yeah.
You're like, "God, like, where is it? You said it was coming." And so yeah, I think it really is a
Is it
testament
Finn?
about how we wait. What's up, Betty?
Yes. I'll look for it,
I don't
okay?
know. We'll be out in just a little bit, okay?
I'll I'll help you find it in just a second, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
There he is.
The
not
kid who
waiting. He'll be back in just a second.
the kid who taught us patience.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, no, I think it really that's what really got me about how Margaret was. I remember just pulling up. She was so calm. She was not. The Lord told her that He would send people. He would send His people to her. She wasn't waiting impatiently. She got comfortable. She was in this ditch, and I mean, she could have been sleeping. Like she was so comfortable that she could have just dozed off.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what really stuck with me because it's like, yeah, we're waiting not by choice, but we can choose how our posture is. We can choose how we respond.
Yeah.
And so that's what I really took from it. It's like, okay, I need to start waiting. I need to get my posture in order. I need to be singing hymns and praying while I'm waiting, not keep asking God, like, hey, when's it coming? You said
Yeah.
it's coming. When's it coming? Because how we wait will prolong, sometimes it will prolong our blessing. It will delay our blessings because we're not waiting the right way. I think that's really, really powerful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it happened just because I was telling Finn, like, listen, if you ask me for this car one more time, you're never going to get the car back.
And Finn's like,
Yeah.
"Ooh."
And immediately I'm like, oh, man. Okay. Okay, God, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
No,
think
that's
that's a
good.
really good analogy.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
But
So that's two things about the waiting season. So how we are able to pour when we feel or look depleted, and then what our posture is even when we're waiting.
yeah, because even when I drove the car, so it was fixed. It's
Hmm.
no longer doing the jumping thing
Yeah,
that it was doing.
our engine was completely misfiring, so
Yeah.
it was like
And after a
balancing.
month of it um, not being fixed, sitting at a shop for 10 days,
Yeah,
paid $1,000 for it to not be
yeah,
fixed,
just for
brought
them to test drive it.
brought it here, had a mechanic, brought it back home, had a mechanic look at it, and they said, "Oh yeah, like it's gonna be $200." Then I get in the car. Was that yesterday?
Yeah,
Yesterday, or was
or
it?
2 days ago.
It might have been 2 days ago. And I'm driving, and I'm like, okay, it'll cool off. Like when you start a car, it's hot outside, takes a minute. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go. Like it'll start cooling off.
Yeah,
10 minutes into the drive, my back is sweating. And I'm like, it's not cooling off in here.
yeah,
And I I really honestly I wanted to cry because I was so frustrated. But I laughed a little bit because I realized like okay, like I see what's going on.
right.
I see what's going on. And then I just started singing worship music in the car as I was sweating.
You're sweating.
I'm pouring sweat. The windows are down. Yeah.
Yeah,
But like I can see where growth has happened in our waiting
right. Yeah,
because I was able to laugh about it because I could see okay, like this is a test, this is an opportunity for me to still praise
yeah,
even when I'm really frustrated.
yeah. That's good. That's good. I think we have to see it from like a bird's eye view. You almost have to like watch yourself as in like a movie. You always know
What's coming?
what's coming in the movie, but it's like when we live our life, we're not able to kind of see because we're stuck in it. Yeah, I think that's good. And I should preface this that the air did work
The air did work before.
before.
So it was just listen, it
Look,
the month of June has been an exciting one in this
yeah,
household.
definitely. I'm shaving up for the month of July too, so
Yeah.
see. But again, it's all about how we posture ourselves in the waiting.
Yeah.
Um, so
But I hope this encourages any of you who are in your waiting season too. Like,
yeah,
um, it's not always fun, but we can see where our faith has grown
right,
tremendously.
yeah, yeah. I've heard. I'm not sure what pastor it was or where I heard this, but I've heard that there's like three phases in life. Um, like leading up to a blessing, like in a blessing, and coming out of a blessing and starting the cycle over. So if you're not in your waiting season, like it's coming, right? Maybe you're in a blessing right now, or maybe you're just getting over a blessing. That waiting season is coming where you're going to be looking at the horizon for your next blessing, your next breakthrough. So I hope what we just discussed kind of helps you navigate your waiting season, how to posture yourself,
Yeah.
and how to continue pouring even when you may feel empty, because you're not empty. You may feel empty though.
Yeah. But there's still oil in there.
Yeah. So,
All
so that was the first episode. Hopefully, it's recording. Hopefully,
right.
it's still.
Hopefully our mics work.
Hopefully, our mics are on. If you guys are seeing this, then it is. We'll see you guys on the next episode of Becoming Holy. Peace.
Bye.